Absolutely, Karishma. I mean, the direct trade impact is expected to be medium or, even low because only about 1% of India's exports to countries like Ukraine and Russia, and only about 2% of its imports are from these countries. And yet, you have brokerages such as Nomura saying that India could be one of the worst affected in the region. And that's because trade shocks, particularly in some parts of the economy, could be large. So, for instance, 11% of India's edible oil and fertilizer imports come from these countries, and that has a direct bearing really on the kinds of prices that the common man pays, also on the government subsidy bill for fertilizers. Also, about 30% of product goods, these are essentially intermediaries that are used in infrastructure, are imported from these countries. India, as you know, has announced a major pipeline of infrastructure projects in the budget. So all of this is expected, Karishma, to have an inflationary impact at a time when prices are already soaring. There are some reports which also suggest that prices at the petrol pumps could start going up as early as next week because of the surging crude oil prices. And what this also means from a macro standpoint, Karishma, is that India's current account deficit, which is the gap between imports and exports, so the earnings of imports and exports, would be adversely affected because India is a major importer of crude oil. And beyond all of this, Karishma, of course, are the dependencies that India has on Russia when it comes to military and defense equipment. Billions of dollars of those orders are still pending. What the sanctions do to that is a big question, certainly.